thought about possibly owning a house in the future? Why wait until after you've graduated college when you can start thinking about your future right now? My name is Kimora Hall, and I'm here to tell you that as college students, we normally think of living on our own and paying rent. Why not pay around the same price and have it be mortgage on a house that you can own instead of a small, overpriced apartment? As a college student, I personally researched the ways and steps we can take to embark on this journey. I believe that we should look into owning a house and investing in our future. I will tell you the reasons why you think you cannot buy a house now, the ways you can look into buying a house, and what your life will be like afterwards. Therefore, you should buy a house now. What is the problem you have? Because of your age, you believe it's impossible that you can own a house. But regardless of how old you are, you're always going to need somewhere to live. In 2017, Mariam Caldwell created an article, and it was called Reasons Why You Should or Should Not Buy a House. And she stated that the best thing about owning a house is building its equity. After you've owned a house for a long time, its value rises. Equity is the real property value on your home. So the more you pay a mortgage and your bills on time, the home's value will go up after a while after you've purchased it. So if you bought your house for $300,000, possibly after 10 or 15 years, it's now worth $350,000, and that's an extra $50,000 in your pocket. There's this website called NerdWallet, and it was created in 2009. It allows you to put the necessary housing information and determines the price you pay for mortgage versus what you pay for rent. So here on the board, this is NerdWallet, and you just put in your information and what you'd like to pay, and it'll show you. So I put in that I'd like to live in Mount Vernon, New York, and I put that the home's price is $300,000. When buying a home, if you don't have $300,000 right now, you can go to the bank and you say, hey, I need $300,000, and they will, if you qualify, they will give it to you. So say you get the $300,000 and you had a down payment of $3,500,000. So when it computes all your information, it tells you that if you bought the house, you'd be paying around $1,400 for rent. Whereas if you didn't decide to buy this house and you just went to the landlord and say, hey, I'd like to live here, you'd be paying $1,800 for rent. You'd be paying $400 more, and you would just be paying to live there for another month. You would not be putting it towards anything. After 15 years, you would not own this house. You'd probably move out, and you'd have wasted a lot of money. Another example is this chart right here. So on this side, you have if you own the house. On this side, you have if you rent the house. So in the last row, this is 7 years after having this house. You've paid around $1,000 a month for rent, and it costs, so far you've put towards $250,000. So you took $300,000 from the bank, and now you've already paid them back $250,000 after just 7 years. Whereas if you rented this house, you'd be paying double that. So instead of $1,000, you'd be paying $2,300 for rent, and it would have went to nothing. It would have just gone to the landlord, and you'd still have nowhere to say after you're gone or anything that your family can move in. It'll be just nothing. Many of you may still believe that it's not worth it or it's impossible to fix your problem, but I can fix your problem with a few easy steps. You can check out home loans, but it really takes building your credit to be able to qualify. Obviously, right now, you do not have $300,000 to buy a home, and this is why you will go to the bank and ask them to lend you money. But if you want them to lend you money, you have to have good credit. According to a 2014 article called Simple Ways to Improve Your Credit Score by Erin Lowry, a necessary step to qualifying for a home is having a good credit score. There are 5 ways to build your credit and maintaining your good credit. Way 1 is to get a credit card. Once you get this credit card line, you want it to have a low balance once you take it out. Step 2, keep your usage rate low, which means that if your credit rate is $500, you cannot spend $500 every month. You have to spend about $75 to $100, which is about the maximum usage rate, because you cannot spend all the money. Step 3, after spending the money, you have to make sure that you can pay them back on time at the end of the month. You cannot spend it and then cannot give them back. That will lower your credit score. Step 4, Avoid any credit card debt, and this goes along with step 3, because as long as you're spending money that you can afford to pay them back, there will be no problem. Step 5, also avoid taking out too many credit cards at once, because it can get hard to manage all of them. In the same article, Reasons Why You Should Not Buy a House by Mariam Caldwell, which was in 2017, she stated the negatives to trying to buy a house, saying that if you're carrying large amounts of debt, you can probably get in over your head when trying to purchase a new home. However, if you decide to buy a house while still in college, you have a way to beat the system, because even if you did take out student loans, which many of us have, you still have not cleared them, so your name is still pretty clean. You see, if you don't listen to me, in 4 or 5 years from now, when you have graduated from Mercy and cannot afford a home because your student loans have just cleared, what will you do? Nothing. You will be renting out a really expensive apartment and just struggling to pay the rent every month. But if you decide to listen to me, you will never have this problem. You will only look back and be proud of the decision you've made and thank me because you listened to me. In conclusion, today I told you the problem you have with buying a house. You think you can't afford it, and you think you won't qualify for a loan to get the home. The solution to that problem is building your credit to get a loan and a home. Remember that the amount you're paying for rent is what you could be paying towards your own home. Now that you understand the steps you can take to investing in your home and investing in your future, you can look into it. Remember, you should buy a home now. My name is Kimora Hall, and I thank you for listening.